Good morning, Lord. Here I am again, starting another day with this familiar knot in my stomach. You know that feeling I wake up with, the one where my mind immediately jumps to the stack of bills on my kitchen counter, the number in my checking account that seems to shrink faster than it grows, and all those financial decisions looming over me like storm clouds. God, I'm tired of feeling anxious every time I open my mailbox. I'm weary of calculating and recalculating whether I can afford groceries this week, whether that car repair can wait another month, or if I should skip lunch out with friends, because every dollar feels so precious right now. This morning I'm bringing all of this worry to you, because frankly I don't know how to carry it anymore. Show me how to trust you with my finances, in a way that goes deeper than just saying the right words. When I look at my bank statement and feel that familiar panic rising in my chest, remind me that you see the whole picture while I only see this small, scary moment. Teach me to breathe deeply and remember that you've carried me through tight spots before, even when I couldn't see how things would work out. Lord, I confess that sometimes I lie awake at 3 in the morning doing math in my head, trying to figure out how to stretch this paycheck until the next one. I calculate and worry and plan, but all that mental spinning just leaves me exhausted and no closer to peace. Guide me toward the kind of practical wisdom that takes action, where I can but rests in your provision, where I cannot. Help me distinguish between being responsible with money and being consumed by worry about money. There's a difference, isn't there? One leads to wise choices and careful planning, while the other leads to sleepless nights and a constant undercurrent of fear. Show me how to be a good steward without becoming a slave to financial anxiety. When I see other people posting about their vacations on social media, or when friends talk casually about purchases that feel impossible to me right now, guard my heart from comparison and resentment. Remind me that everyone's financial journey looks different, and that you have a unique path for my life that doesn't need to mirror anyone else's timeline or circumstances. God, I think about that verse where Jesus talks about how you notice every sparrow that falls and how we're worth so much more than sparrows. If you're paying attention to tiny birds, surely you're aware of my struggle to pay rent this month. You know about the unexpected medical bill that threw off my careful budget. You see how hard I'm trying to make wise choices while feeling like I'm always one emergency away from financial disaster. Transform my perspective on what it means to have enough. In a culture that constantly tells me I need more, bigger, better, newer, help me find contentment in what you've already provided. Open my eyes to see abundance where I've been focused on scarcity. When I look around my home, let me notice the warmth, the safety, the provision that's already here instead of fixating on what's missing or what needs upgrading. Lead me toward practical steps I can take today to improve my financial situation. If there are spending habits I need to change, give me the discipline to change them. If there are income opportunities I'm not seeing, open my eyes to notice them. If I need to have difficult conversations about money with family members or creditors, grant me wisdom and courage for those discussions. But even as I commit to taking action, Lord, help me remember that my security ultimately comes from you, not from any amount in my bank account. I've known people with substantial wealth who still worried constantly about money, and I've known people with very little who radiated peace and contentment. The difference wasn't in their circumstances, but in their trust. Teach me to pray specifically about my finances instead of just worrying generally. When that anxiety starts to spiral, help me turn it into conversation with you. Instead of catastrophizing about worst-case scenarios, let me bring you my actual needs and trust you for actual provision. You know whether I need a new job, a side income, better budgeting skills, or simply peace in the middle of a temporary difficult season. God, I want to learn to be generous even when money feels tight. I know that might sound backwards, but I've noticed that when I hold on to every penny with clenched fists, I feel more anxious, not less. Show me appropriate ways to give and share that come from trust, rather than fear. Maybe it's buying coffee for the person behind me in line, or contributing to a friend's fundraiser, or simply sharing what I have at home with someone who needs a meal. Help me remember that there's a difference between being broke and being poor in spirit, between having financial challenges and being without hope. You've promised to supply what I need, and you've been faithful to that promise even when the provision came in ways I didn't expect, or in timing that felt uncomfortably close to the deadline. When I have to tell my kids, we can't afford something they want, give me the words to explain our situation in a way that teaches them about wise money management, without burdening them with adult financial stress. Show me how to model contentment and trust for them, even in seasons when money is tight. Let them see that our family's security and joy don't rise and fall with our bank balance. Lord, I bring you my pride about financial struggles. Sometimes I'm tempted to hide how difficult things are, to decline invitations rather than admit I can't afford them, or to avoid conversations about money altogether because I'm embarrassed about my situation. Grant me the humility to ask for help when I need it, and the wisdom to know when swallowing my pride might open doors to both practical assistance and deeper relationships. Guide me away from quick fixes and get-rich-quick schemes that promise easy solutions but often create bigger problems. When I'm feeling desperate, it's tempting to believe that there's some shortcut or strategy that could instantly resolve my financial stress. Keep me grounded in principles of steady work, careful spending, and patient progress rather than chasing after financial fantasies. Show me how to find joy and create meaningful experiences that don't require spending money I don't have. Remind me that some of life's best moments happen around kitchen tables with simple food, on walks through free parks, or in long conversations with people I love. Help me resist the lie that everything good costs money, and that financial limitations automatically mean a limited life. God, I think about how Jesus lived without a permanent home, how Paul knew both abundance and need, how your people throughout history have trusted you through feast and famine. Connect me to that legacy of faith that transcends financial circumstances. Let me draw strength from knowing that countless believers before me have walked through financial uncertainty with their trust intact. Transform my relationship with money from fear-based to faith-based. Instead of seeing money as something scarce that I need to hoard and worry about, help me see it as a tool you provide for caring for my family and contributing to your kingdom. Whether I have little or much in any given season, let my heart remain open and my trust remain steady. When unexpected expenses arise, as they inevitably do, help my first response to be prayer rather than panic. Train me to turn immediately toward you instead of immediately toward worst-case scenario thinking. Remind me that you've never been surprised by my needs, and that what feels like an emergency to me is something you've already seen and prepared for. Lead me to wise counselors who can help me make better financial decisions. Whether that's a friend who's good with budgets, a financial advisor, or simply someone who can listen without judgment and pray with me. Surround me with people who can offer practical wisdom and emotional support during this challenging season. Help me celebrate small progress instead of being discouraged by how far I still have to go. When I pay off a small debt, when I manage to save even a few dollars, when I make it through a week without overspending, let me acknowledge these victories rather than dismissing them as insignificant. Build my confidence through recognizing the steps forward, however small they might seem. God, I want to learn contentment in a way that doesn't mean settling for less than you have for me, but also doesn't mean constantly striving for more than I currently need. Show me the difference between healthy ambition and anxiety-driven striving. Teach me to work diligently and trust deeply, to plan wisely and rest peacefully. Protect my family relationships from the stress of financial pressure. Don't let money worries create tension between my spouse and me, or cause me to be short-tempered with my children. because I'm carrying this underlying anxiety. Help us communicate openly about our financial situation without letting it dominate our conversations or steal our joy in being together. When I see advertisements or sales that trigger my anxiety about not having enough, give me the strength to pause and evaluate whether I actually need what's being offered or whether I'm just reacting to emotional manipulation. Teach me to make purchasing decisions from a place of peace and wisdom, rather than from fear of missing out or insecurity about what I own. Lord, you know the specific numbers that keep me awake at night. You know exactly how much I owe, and exactly how much I earn, and exactly what the gap looks like. You see the real situation more clearly than I do, including resources and opportunities that I might be overlooking. Open my eyes to see solutions and possibilities that haven't occurred to me yet. Help me remember that this financial season is temporary. Whether it's a few months or a few years, it's not permanent, and it's not the defining feature of my identity or my worth. I am your beloved child regardless of my credit score, your treasured daughter or son regardless of my net worth. Let that truth sink deeper than my anxiety about money. Show me how to use this season of financial challenge as an opportunity to grow in faith, rather than just something to endure until it's over. If there are character qualities you want to develop in me through this experience, if there are lessons about trust and dependence and provision that can only be learned in tight places, then help me be a willing student rather than just a reluctant participant. Guide me toward gratitude for what I have right now, today, in this moment. The roof over my head, the food in my refrigerator, the clothes in my closet, the relationships that sustain me regardless of my financial status. Let thankfulness for present provision create space for peace in my heart, even while I'm working toward financial stability. God, I release my need to figure everything out ahead of time. I let go of my demand to see the whole staircase before I take the first step. I choose to trust you one day at a time, one bill at a time, one decision at a time. You've promised that your grace is sufficient, and I'm leaning into that promise right now. Thank you for hearing this prayer. Thank you for caring about the practical details of my life, including the mundane stress of monthly budgets and unexpected expenses. Thank you for being patient with my anxiety and faithful with your provision. As I start this day, I choose to walk in trust rather than worry, in gratitude rather than fear. I place my financial concerns in your capable hands and ask you to fill my heart with your peace that surpasses all understanding. Amen. If this prayer resonated with your heart this morning, I'd love for you to let me know by hitting the like button below. And if you'd like to join our community of people supporting each other through life's challenges with faith and prayer, please consider subscribing to the channel. Remember, you're not walking through financial stress alone. God sees you, God cares about your situation, and God is working on your behalf even when you can't see it yet.